Hi kids! Welcome to our lesson for today. So remember last time we talked about Naaman and how Elisha was able to cure Naaman, and God's miracle was the simplest thing.
Yes.
Naaman was just told to go and wash himself 7 times in the river Jordan. And then we also talked about Gehazi and how Gehazi became very greedy when Naaman offered all these riches and presents and Elisha refused. He went and he told Naaman that now we need them back, we need them, and then he went and he hid them. So as his punishment for being greedy and for lying, he now suffered from the disease that Naaman had. But even after Naaman was cured, and remember Naaman was a general for the Syrian armies. Syria was still at war with Israel. They were still attacking them and they were still raiding them. And remember we said a raid is when they go and they take everything they can. They attack and they take everything they can and they run away back home with them. So they were still fighting Israel.
Yeah, and so at some point, the king realized that even his most secret plans against Israel were actually being revealed to the king of Israel without him knowing.
The king of Israel always knew the king of Syria's plans.
Their next plans and their next plans
and their next plans.
Yes, so the king of Syria actually thought there has to be a spy in this palace. There has to be someone who is telling our secrets to the king of Israel. But one of the people in the palace told him,
no, we are loyal to you.
We are very loyal to you.
We are so very
and
loyal to you.
We have not sold out any of your secrets.
We have never been spies. But it is Elisha. Elisha is one of God's prophets and he is the one who is telling the king of Israel your plans. So then the king of Syria said, then go and take him.
You have
go
to
and
take
take him. Go and take him and bring him. So then a big army of Syrian soldiers went out and they went to Dothan. Now Dothan was the town where Elisha was living. So they went there and they surrounded the whole town.
The whole
town was surrounded by Syrian soldiers, this big army.
And so the next morning, one of Elisha's servants went out to do something, to actually fetch some water, and then he realized, oh my God, Look at all these people.
There's so many armies.
There were so many armies, so many people that had surrounded them, and it seemed like their lives were in danger. And so he ran back inside and went and told Elisha,
there's so many people outside. The Syrians are here to attack and they're here to attack us. And then Elisha looked at him and said, don't be afraid. Let's say, do not be afraid. There are more people fighting for us than there are people fighting for them. But then the servant couldn't see anyone. So
he could not understand.
He didn't understand what Elisha was talking about.
He was trying to explain to Elisha, no, the people have seen, the
armies are many, there's so many, we should be scared. But then Elisha prayed to God and he asked God, please God, open this man's eyes and let him be able to see. So then when the servant looked up again, all around on the hillside, he saw horses and chariots of fire. God's angels were protecting Elisha and Elisha's servants. So now they had no reason to be afraid. And then Elisha prayed to God again and said, God, please close the eyes of the Syrians. So then the Syrian armies, all the men in the Syrian armies, they couldn't see. They all went blind and they couldn't see. So then Elisha went out and he told the armies to let him lead them. So then he led them straight to where the king of Israel was.
And remember the king had his army there. So all the men that were in the army of the Syrians were now blind, and they were led right inside to where the king of Israel was with his army. And when the king saw this, he was actually very happy because he thought, all of the Syrian
all my
enemies are here. At my mercy, I can actually kill them. And he turned to Elisha and he said, should I kill all of them?
And he was very excited. And Elisha was like, no, don't kill them. You will give them food and then you will send them home. And then Elisha prayed and asked God to give the Syrians back their sight. And when they looked around, they saw that they were before the king of Israel. So they were very surprised, but they were also scared. Because instead of being killed or fighting, they were given a royal feast.
They were given a royal feast with a lot of food. and a lot of drinks and so much to eat and drink, and
then they were sent home.
And there was no war. There was
fighting. There was no killing anyone. There was no hurting anyone.
Yes, and after the feast, they were actually told, okay, you can go home.
So then when the Syrians went home, they felt very different about Israel, because instead of attacking them when they could, they helped them and they fed them and they sent them home.
Yes.
So now the raids on Israel from Syria stopped.
Yes, because the king was kind to the armies because of what Elisha had told him. So because of what Elisha did, now the attacks on Israel by the Syrians stopped. Yes, and so from this we learn, children, that God is able to perform miracles, that actually God is for us and He's fighting for us, even when we cannot see. That when the servant looked out, what he saw was a very big
enemies.
Yes, a very big army of the enemy. But Elisha prayed, and his eyes were open, and he was able to see all the armies of God that were fighting to protect them. So as the Bible says, children, that when God is for us, no one can be against us. So we'll stand up and sing our song. So let's all stand up and sing this song.
Okay, kids, it's time to sing our song. Now, we've just talked about how Elisha and his servant were protected by God, and how because of God they were able to defeat their enemies without even doing anything, because God was there for them. So now we're gonna sing a song that I know you know, and it says, if God is for me, then who can be against me? So everyone stand up and help us sing this song. Looking out, it's a great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. Maker of all the universe is on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, He is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? Who can be against me? If God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, He is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? Who can be against me? When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. If God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, He is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? Who can be against me? Who can be against me? Yeah! Okay, kids, it's time for us to do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how when the Syrians were sent to capture Elisha, there were all of these angels that were fighting for Elisha and his servant and fighting to keep him safe. And because of this, Elisha was able to be safe, and the king of Israel was actually able to have his enemies at his mercy, and the Israelites were able to show what kind of people they were, and the Syrians felt differently about them because they were let go. So to remember all of this, we are going to make an angel. And we're going to make this angel so that we can remember that there is an angel that is always protecting us, the same way that there were so many angels protecting Elisha and his servant. So for this, I need you to take printing paper or just any type of paper, as long as it's very light, so that we'll be able to fold it. And I need it in 2 different sizes. So I need a full size paper, and then I need half of that, 2 halves. So then I want you to take each of these papers and I want you to fold them. And these folds are called
Constantina folds.
Constantina folds. So I want you to fold up, and we're folding widthwise. We're folding the width so that we have the whole length for our folds. So I want you to fold up, then turn the paper over and fold in the opposite direction. And do this until you get to the end of the paper. Then I want you to do this with all 3 of your papers. Okay, so once you have everything folded, I want you to take each of those 3 pieces. Now, we're going to need to glue some things together. So, with your smaller papers, I want you to take them and I want you to fold them in half. Because we need each of these pieces to fit together. So fold it in half, then open it. And I need these pieces to stick together. So take your glue stick and glue right on the line. The side you folded, glue that, because that's the side we need to stick together. Then I want you to do the same thing for the other half paper. Okay, once you have all these pieces glued together and they're stuck together and the glue is dry, you can open them and look at them. When you look at them side by side, this is so that we can have wings. So they look like wings. So next thing we need to do is attach this 2 pieces to our bigger piece. So with your bigger piece, I also want you to fold it in half, but you're not going to glue it yet. So I want you to fold that piece in half first, but don't glue it yet. Okay? Then once it's folded in half and it's still closed, I want you to take each of these pieces and glue them to the first one, so that you have 3 pieces glued together as one. And when you're gluing these pieces together, make sure they each fit onto one side and the corners are all facing up. So all the corners are in one place. So once these are all glued together, I want you to now take another piece. So this is just going to be our base, and this is also where we're going to write our story. But I need you to have that piece, and I want you to measure what direction your angel fits on it. So I think mine fits this way. Then our angel needs to have a head. So we also have a piece of ribbon. So I want you to take your ribbon, and it's a very thick piece of ribbon, but I don't want you to cut it. I want you to fold it so that the ribbon is wide, or the ribbon is wide. I need you to make it thick. So fold it all together so it'll be able to hold your angel. So fold it along the length. So you have a long, thick piece of ribbon. Okay? Once that's folded, remember I asked you not to glue your angel together at the center. Remember that the body of the angel I asked you not to glue together. Now I want you to take your stapler and I want you to staple your ribbon in the middle. The part that you did not glue together, that is where we're going to staple our ribbon. Just so that our angel is held up by a ribbon. Okay, and then at the top of your angel, I want you to staple on a circle. So we have a piece of manila paper that we just cut a circle shape out of. So I want you to staple the circle. But we have 2 circles, so staple one circle on one side and staple the other circle on the other side so they fit together, so that the ribbon is covered on both sides. So that no matter what side your angel is, you are still seeing the head of the angel, the body, and its wings. Okay. So now I want you to place your angel on your paper. Now you can hang your angel if you want, because now your angel is already attached to a ribbon, but so that we can remember our story, we need to write it down. So I want you to place your angel onto the paper that we're going to use as our base and just staple it on so that you can remove your angel whenever you want. So just staple the ribbon. So then staple your ribbon on, or just attach it just in case you want to leave it there. And then we are going to write down what our lesson for today was on our background paper. So just find a spot where you can write and just write what our lesson today was. So today our lesson came from 2 Kings chapter 6. So write 2 Kings 6. God's angels are always protecting us. Just like Elisha. Okay, so this is our craft for today. We have our angel, and just like the angel was protecting Elisha and his servant, this angel and God's angels are always protecting us. So we can always remember this story of what happened to Elisha. So that is our craft for today, and that is our lesson for today. And until next time, bye.